Hi, this is Dr. Kimberley Linert, author of Visualizing Happiness in Every Area of Your Life and host of this podcast, Incredible Life Creator. And today I have with me Miss Paula Vail. Hey, Paula.
Hi, Dr. Kimberly.
I
I'm
am
so
so
happy to be here.
and I'm so excited to have you. And we have some common things with Reiki and some other things, and maybe we can get into you have some pictures behind you about your life, and I'd love to hear about them. So, but before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and read your bio so people know who you are. So, Paula Vail is the owner founder of Wellness Inspired and Wellness Inspired Publishing. She is the TV radio host of the show Elevating Your Life with Paula Vail, the author of the book Why Am I So Happy, which was awarded the bronze medal in self help books by Global Book Awards. She is also co author of the book America's Leading Ladies Who Positively Impact Our World, along with Oprah Winfrey and others, in the book Beyond Wellness Usui Reiki Training Manual. She is an inspirational speaker and prior restaurant owner. Paula is a Reiki Master teacher, and you can correct me on that, Reiki. Paula has a sincere passion to serve, inspire, and support others. She was featured in New York City Times Square by the Continental Who's Who organization as a Pinnacle professional and has been featured in and on the cover of multiple magazines. This includes recently in Publishers Weekly, Speak magazine, and two times in the Women of Distinction magazine for her achievements in business and life. Most recently, was awarded Empowered Women of 2019 and Top Female Professional of 2018 by the International Association of Top Professionals. Featured in Publishers Weekly, New York Times Daily, CUTV News, and much more. Okay, it sounds like you've done a lot of accomplishments. So I would like to hear your story and about your doggy and the things we were talking about earlier.
Oh, yes. Well, boy, well, I'm going to start with the beginning of my story. I was a premature baby, born in the 50s, weighing less than 3 pounds. My parents were told I would probably not survive the night. And here I am. So that gave me a heart of gratitude. My whole life, I've been grateful for life. And I grew up being an animal lover. I went to college. I was going to be an accountant, but I started working in a restaurant and I fell in love with restaurant work. And so I ended up being at Lorenzo's restaurant for 27 years. I started working there, then I became the manager, and then I bought it. And, it really showed me that, I had it all figured out. I was going to be an accountant with a sign on my porch. But I fell in love with restaurant work. I realized I had a server's heart. I loved doing that. And so that was a big part of my career. I just loved it. And, we can go different pathways. And then after I sold the restaurant, I was approached to do a radio show. It was a internet radio show. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Oh. Well, just call me. I'll think about it. Call me back later. Well, a couple months later, they contacted me again. Paula, we really want you to. Okay. And that was over 9 years ago. And I fell in love with it. My show now, Elevating Your Life, I just love it. I've done that for years. And it's just a blessing and inspiration. But I'll never forget, I wanted to end my show in the beginning with love, hugs, and blessings. And I thought, well, everybody's going to think I'm a weirdo if I tell them I love them. But after a couple months, I said, you know what? I just have to be me. And so that's what I do.
I love
Oh,
that. I love that. Everybody needs loves, hugs, and blessings.
yes, yes. And it's such a beautiful thing that we have, we each have our own uniqueness. And it was a few years ago that I'd always been thinking about writing a book, that I decided to write my book, Why Am I So Happy?
Mhm.
And I named it that because in my many years at the restaurant, that's what people would ask me. Well, why are you so happy? Your life must be perfect. And it wasn't perfect. I had several challenges, but it was, be grateful for the good in my life or be angry for the difficult.
Mhm.
And, some days that was a daily challenge, but that's what I believed. And so it's been fantastic, and the book winning the awards, and it recently, just last May, it was like a birthday present. I was contacted, and 10 books a month are picked and featured in Times Square. And my book was featured in a 15-second big, huge feature in Times Square. So that was
Congratulations.
really
That's
fun
awesome.
last May. Thank you. And they sent me a Earth Cam video so I could watch it. And oh, it was really exciting. And yeah, and something I've always felt, and it kind of came true with once I started doing my show and being featured in magazines, and then being reached out by, uh, Times Square, Continental Who's Who to, I was given that 8-story billboard feature in Times Square for free.
Mhm.
They choose 1 or 2 people a year and do that. And I had never dreamed. And that really opened my awareness. I was so grateful, but I've always believed this, and that really, you know, sanctified it. In one hand, we can, we work so hard. We have our goals, we have our plans, everything's set out. But in the other hand, by keeping that open to what may manifest that we would not even imagine, oh my gosh, things can happen that we would never even have imagined possible. And that's a beautiful thing to remember. That's something I talk about with my Reiki students, and it just, you never know what beautiful surprise or blessing or someone you might meet or connect with can come in life. And that's exciting. What's today gonna bring?
For sure. I mean, I can imagine. So, how does it feel to see yourself larger than life? Because that's like bigger than a person. That's like, it's huge. So, how
You
is
know,
it like seeing yourself that big on a sign in Times
it's-
Square yet?
and when they told me they were doing this and asked for a picture and information, I didn't ask any questions. I was just grateful.
Hmm.
And I had friends saying, Paula, where's it going to be? How big? I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I'm just grateful. So
Hmm.
I asked them, when it goes up, would you mind sending me a picture,
Uh-huh.
please? I figured it'd be an 8x10 in a window somewhere.
Uh-huh.
When they sent me that picture, I literally stopped breathing. So then I had to fly to New York to go stand there and have coffee in the coffee shop where that was.
Uh-huh. It seems like that'd be worth it to me. Definitely worth it.
Oh,
Once in
yeah,
a lifetime, possibly. Maybe not, but how many
yes.
times do you get in how many times does that happen?
I was just so excited. And so now I love visiting Times Square. I've gone a couple times now. I just love it. But I had no idea. And when they sent that picture, I just,
That is amazing.
wow.
So, but now you've been teaching Reiki for a long time. How did you get into that?
Yes, I've been doing Reiki 25 years now, and how it started, my beautiful dog, Shotzi, she was a white German Shepherd, and I had her whole life when my children were young. And she was 14, and we discovered a tumor, and we had that removed, and she wasn't doing well. She could hardly walk. And someone said to me, Paula, you should learn Reiki. And that's what started it. So I learned Reiki. It helped her so much. And I had her 2 more years. And I fell in love with the modality of Reiki. And I had the great honor of going down and getting my Reiki Master training at Machu Picchu. And also, I'm also shaman trained. My shaman name is Shantara. But I absolutely fell in love with Reiki. And of course, I was running around Machu Picchu, hugging the alpacas and Reiki. Can't take me anywhere. My family and friends know. Yeah, she's gonna stop and hug a dog, or she's gonna.
Oh my goodness. So just so people know, some people might not know what is Reiki.
It is hands-on energy work. It works with our life force energy. It actually is very, very scientifically backed. And basically, it's positive energy, and it boosts the immune system. It helps us emotionally. It helps us physically. And so basically, in a Reiki session, you activate your Reiki and you just light touch, hands-on work, and it's all positive energy, just kind of putting them in a Reiki bubble. The Reiki goes where needed. You just let it go. And it is so wonderful. I have seen so many things over the years with Reiki and what it does for others. Oh my gosh, I have many stories. It's really a beautiful modality. And being able to share that with others and also teach it to others, it's just amazing. Yeah, there was a study a few years back, a great article written at, I believe it was a college in Oregon, showing how, the specifics of it, how Reiki boosts our immune system. It's just a beautiful, beautiful modality. And I love offering it to others and teaching it. It's really, I've come to a point where it's like, it's beyond words. It's so fantastic.
Oh, so when you had your first experience, with your dog, and like, what did you do? And did the dog sit still and want the Reiki, or what was that like doing
Yeah,
Reiki
she
on your
loved.
dog?
But at first it's like, and I've gotten this reaction. I have clients that bring their pets, cats, dogs. One time someone brought a chicken, but can be hilarious. You can have a dog react like, oh, ooh, oh, feels good. And animal Reiki, you do it a little different than with in person, because they kind of, okay, if they're done, they're done. They kind of let you know, but their reactions, and they love it. But oh my gosh, it helped her. She could walk again. She was more noble. She was just feeling great. I had her 2 more years, and it's just amazing. One time I had a client bring a dog that had been injured. It couldn't eat its throat. It couldn't eat, and they'd had surgeries, and we gave it a lot of Reiki. And next thing I know, she's like, oh, she's all better and running around. But Reiki really is a beautiful, beautiful modality. I love it so much.
So when people come to see you for Reiki, what are they coming for? Like, what are they inquiring about? What?
Basically, it can be someone that's going through emotional traumas. It can be someone that's having physical problems, like illness or an accident. Like one time I had a client and I had lost an arm in an accident and had that ghost phantom pain
Mm-hmm.
and came for Reiki sessions, and he didn't believe in Reiki. It was like, a family member making him come. It just, it helped him so much. Yeah. I mean, it's
That is awesome
amazing.
because doctors are stumped by that. They don't know what to do with that.
Yes. And I'm so thrilled that they're allowing more and more Reiki in hospitals. I've given Reiki to people in hospitals and have actually done studies, people that are given Reiki before and after surgeries.
Mhm.
They heal quicker. And they're on less pain meds. I mean, they're actually starting to do studies now, which is really, really wonderful. I'm really happy to see that it's slowly kind of coming into, the medical world. I'll never forget, many years ago, I'd been interviewing people 9 years ago, but I met a nurse on the East Coast, Chicago area. And she was a Reiki practitioner. I interviewed her, but she was able to offer Reiki to patients and different people, and was able to set something up so that Reiki family members, because that's stressful for a family member when you have someone in the hospital, and started this whole thing at a hospital where Reiki could be offered. And that's a beautiful thing. I'm hoping to see that in hospitals everywhere, because it just goes, it just adds to what people can benefit from. And they've done studies on plants. What it does for your plants. I've always been kind of a brown thumb. And when I learned Reiki, all my house plants, I'm running around, I'm all Reiki, and oh my gosh, they were growing into each other. And
Really?
and
I never thought about
yeah,
doing Reiki on a plant.
yes,
People
yes,
and
and
animals,
they've done
yes, but a
studies.
plant.
Yeah, and they've recorded up to it was like around an 800% growth spurt.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, one time I was chatting with a gentleman that was a Reiki master, and he told me one time he gave Reiki to a tree that looked totally dead and it came back. I believed him. Oh,
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. So
and
tell me about your TV radio show and what it's about and what kind of guests you have on it.
it's called Elevating Your Life. It's on KMET AM radio and television in California. The links are on my wellnessinspired.com website. But it is basically informative, inspiring. Over the years, I interview authors, doctors, scientists, musicians, actors, actresses. I mean, every day, people, a big variety, and people from around the world. And it's amazing. So I love it. And for many years now, and it started probably about 7 years ago after the Continental Times Square feature. I don't even look for guests. I just wake up to emails, but it's positive, it's informative. I've had, like just last week, I interviewed an amazing woman who researched NDEs for 20 years and wrote a book about it. One time, there's been a few shows where I have teared up, I'll be honest. One was a gentleman who worked on the 52nd floor of the tower in New York. And because his son wasn't done with homework, he was a half hour late to work. And he was up on the 30th floor to get on the other elevator when the plane hit. Saved him. He was able to help others down the stairs. I mean, it's been a lot of amazing stories, but it really is wonderful. And I sit there and, what I learn and being inspired. There are so many just fantastic, amazing stories and individuals in this world. There really is.
There really is. And that's why I love doing this. I think you said you were doing your show for 9 years. Actually, today is my 5-year anniversary of the podcast. So I've
Happy
been doing it
anniversary, my dear.
Thank
How
you.
exciting.
And, that's why I love doing this. I love to highlight people who are doing amazing things in the world, inspire other people to be creative, to find out what gives them passion and purpose. But like you said, I like connecting with these people, and I like connecting other people with other people if they can help each other.
Yes,
And
yes.
then just learning the vast knowledge and wisdom that comes on the show is just amazing. And
It
I'm
is,
so
isn't it?
grateful and thankful for every single
And
person who listens and every single person who's been on the show.
yeah, yeah, you are spreading positive energy and information to others. My gosh, that is such a beautiful gift. Oh, thank you so much. We are so honored and lucky to be able to do that.
Yes, yes, we are. So you've written a few books.
Yes, yes, I have my Why Am I So Happy?
Mm-hmm.
And I share some of my life experiences. I have my Beyond Wellness Reiki training, and then I've co-authored in several books. I just love it. And, there's so many little things can happen in our life, that you don't expect, challenges, and, sharing challenges with others. I share a few personal things in my Why Am I So Happy? We're not alone. That is a great thing to know when we're going through a challenge, that we're not alone. There's others out there going through challenges too, and supporting and caring about each other. There is an amazing story I'll share with you because it just, what it did for my heart, I'll never, never forget. I had worked at the restaurant all those years. I had managed it. The owner had promised me when he retires, he would sell it to me. So I had saved, what I could, making minimum wage and a single mother. My husband had passed, running a restaurant. I had it all ready, and I came walking into the restaurant one day, and he was sitting with a few gentlemen, and he says, they want to buy the restaurant. I want $100,000 more down payment. That was like $1 million to me.
Yeah.
I went to the bank. I didn't even have a credit card. I would just cash or a check. And they said, you want to buy a restaurant, little girl? Because it was a big restaurant.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was heartbroken. All those years, all those long hours,
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. Angels, oh, is this what's meant to be? And then a couple days later in the restaurant, I had a lot of wonderful regular customers. And there was a couple that were regular customers. He was a doctor and his wife, and they loved a certain booth they sat in. Anyway, I had told them I was going to be buying the restaurant soon. And he says to me, so Paula, when you buying the restaurant? And I must have got a look on my face. And he said, Paula, what's going on? Tell me.
Uh-huh.
So I told him. And a couple days later, knocking on the kitchen door was his accountant with all the paperwork And that man co-signed a loan for me to buy my restaurant.
Wow. That is, oh,
Yeah.
I just got chills and
And a year later, I took him off the loan. But I mean, and I could tell his accountant thought he was crazy. What are you doing? You're helping your favorite waitress, you know? I mean, you never know. You never know. And our joke was I was going to name a booth after him.
Uh-huh.
But there are some wonderful people, you know, you just never know. So I guess the message is don't give up.
Mhm.
Don't give up hope. Yeah.
Yeah. And you talked about, there's always challenges, but people said, you're always looking so happy. And we all have those challenges and we all can show up happy. But in those times when those challenges are large, like that time, um,
Yeah.
how do you keep your center? How do you keep yourself in that higher attitude of mind?
Yeah. Not easy. Yeah. It just, and when I was young, in junior high, I was bullied. And I didn't know why, but I was bullied. And I literally, one year, I didn't even take my coat off at school. And I didn't know why. I was beat up one day by some girls. And one day with the beautiful, support of a dear aunt and uncle. And I decided, you know what? Love me or don't. I'm I'm gonna get through this. I'm just gonna be me and be Paula. And I got through it, and that made me realize I don't want to be normal. I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm gonna be my unique me. When
Mm.
I'm in a grocery store and I hear a song I like, I'm dancing. I don't care who's looking. It'll be me. And it set me free. And I got through it. And it was really interesting because I always wondered, why did I get picked on? And it was probably 20 years ago at a high school reunion, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, Paula, I just want to say I'm sorry I bullied you in school. And I said to him, why did you? Can I ask you? He said, oh, because you were really nice and shy and it was easy.
Oh.
See, so that shows us it's not you individually. It's
Mhm.
just, it's them that are having issues, and it's just you were, yeah. But yeah, after all those years, he came up to me and apologized.
Wow. Well, that was really sweet. And that's pretty brave, really, because he could have just pretended nothing was ever happened.
Yeah. But, a lot of times when people, if someone's mean to us or we're mistreated, it it may not be anything that we've done to set off. It's something they have going on inside of them. And to realize that and know that can really help and make a difference.
Yeah.
None of us are perfect. We don't have to be perfect.
Thank goodness.
Just celebrate our uniqueness. That's my attitude.
We're all very unique, all very unique.
Yes.
So, but if people wanted to connect with you, work with you, learn Reiki, how do they connect with you? Like social media or websites? And where do they get your books?
Yeah. My website is wellnessinspired.com. And my email is paula@wellnessinspired.com. And my book is on Amazon. And I'm also Paula Vail on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn. But so my website is the best, wellnessinspired.com. Yeah. And I do Reiki classes, Reiki sessions. and just love it. And if there's a Reiki practitioner out there that just wants to reach out to me and ask a question, or I'm great with that. To me, the more of us doing Reiki in the world, it's a better world. It is amazing. I have to share, I was in Africa on a mission trip a few years back. And our van, we were going to the different schools the whole time, but we took a day to go through a park. And our van got a flat tire. And so what do? I'm giving Reiki to a giraffe. And then he was following me around.
He liked it.
Liked it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh. And then we went through a giraffe park, and we were giving them treats out of the bus. And I was like that, and I literally got a giraffe kiss.
Oh.
Huge tongue in my mouth.
Yes, they do have.
So I can brag and say I have been kissed by a giraffe.
Wow. I'm not sure if I'd want that.
No, I didn't see it coming.
Oh my goodness, that's slow.
But
What an
it is
experience.
yeah. And the property where I grew up in Centralia, Washington, that I still have, and I would love to. My dream is to create a nonprofit animal rescue there. I have literally given Reiki to deer in the yard and had deer lay down. I had one just lay down one day.
That's so
Yeah,
sweet.
animals love the Reiki.
That is awesome. Well, now I have a personal question for you. What gives you the most happiness and fulfillment in your life at this point?
Oh, gosh. Ah, I think it's kind of just not just one thing. I mean, I love doing my show, love doing Reiki. I love my pets, my family. I love nature. I have a lot of happiness triggers, and I talk about those in the book. We all have our little happiness triggers. And so I enjoy giving myself happiness triggers. But I think that, boy, I just kind of love it all. It's like a wheel, of different things that I love. There's some challenges in life, but I, just this hand and this hand. And, you just try to balance. But yeah, I really do love doing my show and sharing that with others. And I've got an award, the Best of Tacoma, in wellness and TV radio hosts, and they just contacted me that I'm getting a New Year award. So another one.
Congratulations.
So just things like that. Yeah, but I think the number one thing is being a positive energy in the world. Makes me happy. Yeah. And you know what's so wonderful? People feel our energy. They do. I've always been fascinated. You can walk into a crowded room, and if you have a smile on your face, that can affect the room.
Yes,
it does. It affects the energy in the room.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Yeah. And my restaurant years, I loved sharing a smile. Especially, if you have someone that's having a hard time or they're not in a good mood. I didn't get irritated. It was like, I'm going to put a smile on their face, So I think that brings me a lot of joy, just being a positive energy.
Thank you. And thank you for being on the podcast today and for all your wisdom and fun stories. I mean, I've never heard of anyone else getting kissed by a giraffe. So,
lucky me.
But I have one last question before we finish. What is your best advice on living an incredible, amazing life?
Mm, I would say enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment and savor that. If we're so caught up in what happened yesterday or what we want to achieve tomorrow, we forget to enjoy the moment and today. So I would say cherish and enjoy the moment today, because that is where we are at.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Paula.
Oh, thank you, my dear. It was an honor.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Dr. Kimberly.